Good day there once again, viewers. Your mate Kamikaze78 here, come to you guys with some more Planetside 2 content. So guys, on August 28th we had a fairly big update drop for the game that saw some pretty interesting additions and changes made to the actual game. There's actually a lot to cover in this update, so we'll get straight into things, starting off with a quick public service announcement that Connery and Soltech server transfers are now going live from now until the 30th of September. Now, I know that isn't going to mean a lot to many players, but to my fellow Australian players or Oceanic players out there who were still on the Briggs server despite the opportunity to transfer to Connery from Briggs a while ago, the Briggs server has officially been closed. A bit of a bittersweet moment, not gonna lie. There's a lot of memories that have come from that server and the respective community, but my sentiments on the server are linked in a pinned comment down below. Anyway, that's beside the point. You Briggsanauts are now going to find your characters on the Soltech server, so you will have a chance to test things out on both servers to see which best suits you, but I believe that most of the remaining Briggs community will be on the Connery server. I will also leave a link to the Briggsanaut Discord that has emerged for any Oceanic players that are looking for some company. So yes, to my fellow Oceanic players, be sure to log in and get a taste for each server, because after that cutoff date, you will not be able to change servers. Anyway, on the top of the patch notes, some pretty major changes have been made to the aerial anomalies, mainly to make them a slightly more, what's the word I'm looking for, tactical experience. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always loved the idea of the events in-game that add some extra incentive for players to get involved in an aspect of the game that they didn't do so before, or to give a side of the game like the air game a new and unique objective, something a little bit more tactical. Hell, I even love the chaotic airballs that formed in these things and the batshit crazy dogfights that they formed, especially when all three factions got involved. But I will also be the first to admit that a slightly more tactical side of the alert would have been a nice addition as well, and with that, we have these changes. Aerial anomalies will still appear around the map, but will now coat a player's aircraft in a mysterious residue called Tempest when a player flies through them. After that, players will need to deliver said Tempest to data buoys that are located in the center of the map, which is now where I imagine the chaotic battle will actually end up ensuing. Now, each aircraft has a different Tempest capacity, with Galaxies being able to carry up to 500 Tempest, Liberators up to 400, Valkyries up to 250, and ESFs up to 100 Tempest respectively. Now, once a player is killed, all the Tempest is lost, so there will be some added incentives to protect the larger vehicles. Hell, we may even see some really cool looking air convoy styles of play emerge with the new style of gameplay. But again, I'm gonna miss the crazy airballs, but I am all for some more serious objective based gameplay, and I feel as though these aerial anomalies will actually provide that. I haven't had a chance to play them yet, but you know, you can never be too sure. Another welcome change in this update was the addition of automated bounties. Yeah, you guys remember the bounty system? Yeah, me neither. This old system was essentially a little way that you could spend some Daybreak coin or certs to throw a virtual middle finger to that one arsehole that has killed you over and over again. But the problem was that it costed a fair amount to use, and the reward was really just not that worth it in the long run. But now the system has seen some major updates to make it a little bit more approachable and actually part of the core gameplay. From here on out, players who achieve a 10-player kill streak, being Revive won't count, will have a bounty placed on them, and there is a long cooldown as to how long these can trigger according to the patch notes. Players who receive this bounty automatically have a 5-stack of bounties placed on them, and these will be stripped one death at a time as opposed to them being removed in bulk upon dying. So yeah, some of us now may be able to actually start making some progression on that friggin' bounty hunter directive. I've actually managed to score, I think, up to silver tier on that directive now, and you know, this is coming from absolutely no progress in the past, so I'm actually really excited about this system. I've seen it briefly in action over the last couple of play sessions, and it's been actually being put to some really good use, and it's good to see it being used a little bit more naturally. I'm all about dev resources being used efficiently, and now that the system is much more of a core part of the gameplay, the poor sods who worked on it in the first place, well, let's just say that their work isn't entirely in vain. I don't know, but I've also realised that my score per hour has gone up on average ever since this system came into play while I've been playing as a heavy assault who's just been killing a lot of people. I think I saw that there is in fact a hunted bonus for whenever you're got a bounty on you and you are killing people, so it's a nice little incentive for players to not only do well, but to also kill those who are just wiping the floor like no tomorrow. Now, the next thing that made an appearance in this update was the death camera update. Now, this is something that's actually been the center of a lot of conversation in the wider community and in my stream chats too. And by the way, if you aren't following me on Twitch, feel free to follow the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment to catch up with some of my live streams. We stream sporadically through the week. I try to keep a constant schedule up, but unfortunately life does tend to get in the way of that. Anyway, the death camera, whenever you die, will now pan towards the enemy that killed you in your death screen, highlight them, and sort of give you an insight into their exact location as to where they killed you from. Now, the intent of this new feature is to give the newer players a better understanding of where attacks came from, and sort of give new players an insight as to how they're dying and what the more experienced players are doing on the field at particular bases. Now, I am all for new methods to help out the new players, and if anything, the system does seem well implemented for what it is at this point. When it was first announced, I actually thought it would be in a completely different form, kind of similar to that of a Call of Duty kill cam or an Overwatch kill cam, where you would see the perspective of your of the guy who killed you, but obviously that isn't the case, and even so, this system appears pretty well implemented. So props for the devs on that one. They've actually done a very good job here. It feels very smooth. It isn't too, nauseating. I know some kill cams and death screens can feel a bit nauseating as they try to track opponents too. I haven't felt that so far with this one. But I feel as though the system could use a little bit of refinement to ensure that too many playstyles aren't nullified as a result. For example, if the player isn't spotted, then maybe the camera should pan towards them still, but it won't highlight the target to ensure that newer players could still get some information out of the system, but, the stealthiest playstyles as a result of that aren't completely compromised by the system. There have been a lot of people in particular voicing their concerns in regards to the system nullifying their sniping playstyles, and I can totally see where they're coming from. I mean, hell, even make it so that suppressors give the added benefit of your character not appearing in a highlight on the death screen. I mean, that would actually be a really cool mechanic to, incentivize suppressors a bit more, because right now all they do is make your weapon quieter and mask your radar signature, but I feel as though this could be a really, really cool sort of tangible benefit to taking a suppressor that would counteract the lacking muzzle velocity that you're going to get as a result of that. I think it would really give some added benefit to the suppressor. In the meantime, I think we're going to see some incredibly mobile playstyles take the head of the battlefield for this time frame, and the art of, say, light assault tower stomping is going to become a lot more dynamic with this new system in mind, but hopefully it will get refined as time goes on. Now, on the topic of tools and updates aimed towards helping out the newer players, another change that was made here in this patch was the Sirt Reward for moving up the battle ranks, now extending from just BR 15 all the way up to BR 100, meaning that you're going to get 100 certs every time you rank up throughout the system, basically until you hit that end game prestige or you move into BR 101, 102, so on and so forth. That means that 10,000 bonus certs will be awarded to all players throughout their gameplay to BR 100. Now, personally, I think this is a great step in the right direction, especially considering that we did take some time to address the grind of Planetside 2 a few videos ago. I'd like to think that the devs were implementing this in response to my video, but I'm not gonna, try and fill my head with that idea. I'm sure this was just a design decision that they decided to implement. Always happy to see some progress going in the right direction to help out the grind with this game and to further incentivize players to stick around. But sorry veterans, these certs won't be retroactively applied to your account, which sucks a little, but hey, I'm sure we've all got enough certs as it is. But beyond that, guys, there's been a bunch of other stuff added to the game and changed in this update, but as always, we have nowhere near enough time to go through all of that in this video. I just wanted to go over a few highlights of mine of this patch. A full list of patch notes can be found in the description down below, so feel free to read up on it at your own leisure, and let me know down below what your thoughts are on the patch. Do you like it? Is there anything you don't like? Let me know in the comment section down below. It may also be a fairly exciting time for Planetside Arena as well. We have had a new teaser trailer drop for the game, and I'm going to discuss the corresponding article that went alongside that in a video to coming over the weekend, hopefully. So guys, be prepared for that one as well. Either way, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and smack that like button if you enjoyed it. Backhand the subscribe button whilst you're at it on the way around if you want to keep up to date with all things that I'm making on my YouTube channel here. Once again guys, take care, have a good one, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.